Bitcoin has long been hailed as a true democratization of money, bringing us out from underneath the central bank's boot of tyranny. At least that's what the true believers were saying in the beginning. And then the market started taking off, fueled by free cash provided by the same central banks they would be liberated from. Bitcoin reached peaks no one thought possible and spawned thousands of lookalikes, altcoins. With this entry into the mainstream, startups were formed to take advantage of this newly formed sector that was free of competition. The founders hailed as their generation's Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Bill Gates or Larry Page. But now the era of free cash is over, and the Fed, once a friend, is now a foe and could cause the collapse of the market. This manifested with one of the startups founded by Sam Bankman-Fried. He had the brilliant idea of creating a cryptocurrency exchange and named it FTX, based in Bahamas. He quickly grew his new exchange, peaking at 1 million users and becoming the third largest exchange by volume. Bankman would be rewarded with a personal fortune of 15 billion in fiat, a fancy name for dollars, this marking him as a successful and famous man. Then the Federal Reserve started raising interest rates. All of a sudden, the one thing holding up the house of cards that is crypto disappeared, and the value crashed to levels not seen as far back as 2020. But even this tiny drop was enough for things to start breaking. FTX's close relationship to a crypto hedge fund, whom they had lent $10 billion to, would come back to bite them. This market maker also held 6 billion of FTT, a coin issued by FTX, of which there were only 5.1 billion in circulation. Binance liquidated their entire stake of FTT, which caused a run on the, well, they don't claim to be a bank, but for our purposes, a run on the bank of FTX. The customers tried to withdraw 6 billion worth of crypto, which just did not actually exist. FTX had lent, spent, or fraudulently taken it all away. And so, Sam Bankman-Fried's tiny empire was forced into bankruptcy. Disgraced and infamous, no one wanted to invest with him, and one of the most complex org charts ever went into the history books as defunct. In an unlikely turn of events, the same person who cleaned up after Enron stepped into cleaning up FTX and released the following statement: "Never in my career have I seen such a complete failure of corporate controls and such a complete absence of trustworthy financial information as occurred here. From compromised system integrity and faulty regulatory oversight abroad to the concentration of control in the hands of a very small group of inexperienced, unsophisticated, and potentially compromised individuals, this situation is unprecedented." This bankruptcy, while equally hilarious when looking at the hubris, and tragic for the people who lost their money, threw ripple effects into the wider crypto world. Tether stopped being tethered to its peg of $1, Crypto.com seemingly almost went bankrupt, and Bitcoin sank to the lowest price in 2 years. And it's just the beginning. The Fed has only increased the rates to 4.25%, and it doesn't seem to have even a tiny impact on inflation. Even these relatively low rates when looking at history, sure, we're used to zero after the last decade, but it's not normal. The current, more normal rates we have right now are already causing chaos in the crypto ecosystem. Look at Bitcoin. It's down at $16,000 with no signs of recovery. What will happen when the Fed raise interest rates again and again and again? Do you think it's likely that the rest of these crypto companies have everything above reproach? Maybe they aren't completely rotten to the core as FTX seems to have been, but there is no oversight. If 1 or 2 more of these exchanges crash, what do you think will happen to the price of Bitcoin? Even if the Fed just increased the rates a little bit and nothing more goes bankrupt, do you think the price of Bitcoin will remain where it's at? Anyways, that's all for the future. Maybe Bitcoin will remain a force in the economy if the rates stay where they are, or in the off chance that the rates decrease. But do you think that's a likely scenario? That's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed and I wish you a very nice day.